Welcome back, Rooster Nation, to the 628 Dirt Rooster channel, where hobby beekeeping is a way of life. Headed up into the Tractor Supply, see if I can't find an owl decoy. On our Facebook post about the raccoons getting in our hives, Martin Belcher suggested putting an owl perch, but that's down in the city limits down in Gulfport. I don't think I've ever seen an owl down there. We've got them around here further north, but not down that far. As far as I know, I'm sure they're there somewhere. They're just not in plentiful supply. And I don't know that an owl could take out a coon, but I'm going to try an owl decoy just as a deterrent to see, maybe. Right now we're having a trap, but maybe that'll help run them off. I'll let you know how it goes. Since that video will probably be off in the distant future, let's get into a cutout video that my wife went with me on. So it's on the Miracle-Gro owl. There they are. That does not look real, does it? Ooh, hawk. Ain't no good for nighttime. Look at the detail on this jewel. Looks like Bob Ross painted the thing.
This is the way to do it. Kind of heater I grew up on.
You grew up cooking your clothes on?
Oh yeah, melt that polyester coat.
We've got a rather large hive to remove today in the wall of this 100-year-old house. It starts, as near as I can tell, at the top plate and comes down to somewhere in the neighborhood of the panel. The heat stops there. I gotta be real careful on this, and I'm sure some old cloth covered wire. Probably not knobbing tube, but just not Romex. And I gotta cut through beadboard to get to it, unfortunately, because I hate to destroy their beadboard, but I gotta cut. I'm gonna start above the window trim, walk that stud to within one board of the top, and then come over here and find this stud. I'm gonna take the panel off and see if I can't find the stud that way, because they're probably not 16 on center. All this you see on the wall right here is from a previous dead out. They had plastic on the wall, is why this line right here caught all this dead bees and wax moth feces and stuff. It's just a pile of dead bees. At some point they swarmed and a bunch of them got up in the panel. So hopefully there's enough room around the panel that I can hunt and find studs. But the colony is in here now. It's healthy. It's got this high of 54 today. Got a good strong heat signature all the way across, and what's that, 3 foot to the ceiling. And we've got free reign of the house. Nobody's living here right now. So I'll show you this bathroom that Elizabeth is impressed with. Was a bedroom at some point, and they got converted. It just looks like something out of an old hotel or old Airbnb to me. It's not something I would want, but she likes it.
That's because you're not dainty and don't have a sense of style.
I like this old steel guitar over here. It's probably a 1,400 square foot house. Got the old, I don't know if you call it a farm sink. Just kind of a cool old place. For our first removal of 2021. We got the everything vac that I need to put, probably, it's got a good charge, but I need to put it on a charge, but there's the charge plug for it. I didn't even think about it until we got up here, because this old house does have a ground on the power, which is good. Some of these older houses don't. Then you gotta either destroy an extension cord or search around for an adapter. I know some of you are probably wondering what happened to my face. Okay.
It's amazing how much crap is. Here?
Yeah.
Is the wall warm?
Up here it is. Yeah, be careful on this. Trim's pulling the beadboard. That dates the house a little bit, doesn't it? Gotta be careful with this window. Saracel to the rescue. I think everybody's gonna get to try Pete's suit on before he even gets it.
Well, I think the pink flower looks better for me than for Pete.
Yeah, well, you don't mind. Keeps him from getting stung.
Works for me. Pretty. He can have mine.
You can't even find yours.
I wonder why.
I didn't want it out. There was a yellow jacket hive above the window at one time. I've seen 2 yellow jacket queens at my place in the past 2 days. I saw one flying and one dead. So they're out already, and it's January 28th or something.
29th.
So yellow jacket queens are out trying to make a home. All right.
I didn't know you were filming me.
I wasn't. You didn't get your head. I was just up there.
Oh, well, that was just hard to do with the gloves on.
That's why you save the gloves for last.
Well, not if you're in the medical field. Put the gloves on first.
No, we're not working in the medical field today.
Well, precision.
Boom.
Okay.
Sealed up.
Run shoes.
How you did?
Yeah, I know not to run. Oh, good, nothing.
Nothing.
Put
Comb.
that in there. Oh, it's a roach.
There's comb on the side of the box.
Oh, roach.
Let's take it outside.
The mother of all roaches. It's gonna run up my arm.
We got a nice propolis seal right here. It's cold today, so the bees are gonna be clustered up high. So we got empty comb down this far, which this actually is kind of nice right here because I can break into the siding right here, into the paneling. We got propolis seal in the panel. That's probably not safe. I guess they do have Romex in this house. Somebody rewired it at some point. Okay, this is how this is gonna come out. Beadboard is in 3-inch wide pieces. And I gotta try not to tear it up because I do have to put this back. If you can, if you're taking something like this apart, if you can number them, number the backs of them so you know what position they were in when you pulled them. You know what she's saying? I'll let you guess. Oops, she put a stinger in my shirt. Get this back up for a minute. I knew they were going to be irritable just because of how cold it is right now. So I may have to suit up to finish stripping this out, but right now I really just want to see where that other stud is going that way. And what I have for that so that I don't get electrocuted is a fiberglass rod, like a flag on a, like an antenna on a bicycle, you know, one of flag rods, whatever. So that I don't get electrocuted. Oh, that started them up right there. My bee gloves, Guardian Apparel 2X. These fit me pretty good. And you guys, it's got big forearms. They fit my hands. I got big hands. I got big forearms, and they go up past my elbow pretty easy, even over this flannel shirt. So, Guardian Bee Apparel for the gloves is who I recommend. And I'm just gonna put a hood on for now. If they get really nasty, I do have another suit. I got a Guardian suit, I got a Man Lake suit, and I got a Saracel suit. So we got we're running the whole gamut of the selection of suits. But this should be sufficient for what I need right now. Now, this right here, the more I thought about it, this mildew outline, I thought maybe this was a stud over here, but they did have this sealed off with plastic, so I think this is just condensation buildup from having plastic over it. So right now, I'm thinking the stud may be in this area. I'm hoping that I don't see any screws to the side of the panel. I'm gonna tighten the stud. I can get behind the panel to get over there. So that's wood right there. like bananas. You know what that means?
I know they're angry.
Yeah, their alarm pheromone smells like bananas. Really tick them off now, and I'm gonna run straight up and see if I hit a piece of crosswood. Hitting comb all the way. So this was built in the 1920s, I think. Just family members put it together. I don't know that there were any codes back then. I think it was just you nail it, stick it where you think it goes, and nail it. So I don't know what their spacing is on this thing. Don't know if they had a construction background, but they did build the house, and it's a pretty cool little house. So I guess maybe they knew something. We don't have the heat on in the house, and I'm wearing an undershirt, a t-shirt, and then this flannel over this, and I'm not hot, so it's not warm in here at all, but it's obviously warmer in here than it is outside. And they're coming down and checking out, seeing what we're doing. Probably enjoying a little heat because it is warmer in here than it is outside, I'm quite certain. I'll move over to where I think I should cut.
Make sure they don't sting you in the back of the head.
No, they won't. They can't get through that material in your hair. Got this one board out. Now we can see for sure what the framing is. I started to pull this board, but the panel is not attached to the wall. Or maybe it's attached down low. Maybe it's attached to the propolis. I don't know. The panel's moving, so I'm gonna try to leave this board here and just work up around the top of it. Pro photo on the V removal. Okay, now that I'm in the wall, I'm starting to take boards out. I can see that they did toenail into the tongue of each of these boards. So I'm moving my cut over to this side of the nails because I'm on this side and it's causing me to crack boards pulling them out. Stinging me. So you hadn't seen them, now been in my armpits. We've vacked up a lot of bees so far.
Have we?
Yeah. And they're clustered up high running from us, so there's there they are right now, sitting up on these boards, just start seeing them again.
This one came out first, right?
Yeah.
Gentle with them, but it's almost hard to calibrate the right amount of pressure not to push them in.
Gotta make sure she's got some containers ready. She wants some honey. There's plenty there. See how they calm down once we got it open? It's funny how they are. You start breaking into them and they wear you out, and then once you get the whole hive open, it's like, oh, well, he's here now, we give up. Yeah, they got her hidden in there somewhere. Real quick tutorial note on a wall like this where you've got all kinds of wires running. You got a main lug coming in. Got Romex everywhere. You can't really tell where it goes. You don't know if it splits off. It goes, more than likely it all comes up through the center. This main lug wraps around, goes down the wall. You can see that. But when you've got a comb like this, you don't want to cut so much as you want to tear, because if you stick a knife in there, especially on an older house, you stand a chance of getting yourself electrocuted or hurt somehow. Pop your knife, you jerk it out and stick yourself in the head. Who knows? You just got to be careful. So on walls like this, you want to go in very carefully and hand remove the comb as much as possible. Now there's some of it that you just have to cut. You gotta cut it if you gotta cut it, but just be careful and use something with an insulated handle that's not, you know, electrical rated, but it's better than having a metal tool in your hand. Like this 5-in-1 that probably has a tang running all the way through it. If you're pushing on this with this in the palm of your hand and you hit something hot, you might not like the end result.
Get you on the arm again?
Mean as all get out.
So with that cone being brown like that, and possibly old with age, is that, do they just build it out and just never fill it up with honey, or have they robbed it out?
No, we're in into January now, so this hive was full of everything from brood. Anything that's dark, black, has had brood run through it. So they've had brood through this whole thing. They've had honey through it at one time. They still got a good amount of honey left going into February. They would eat all that up before spring or before they swarm. But this whole hive was all in use at some point, and now that it's in the winter, they've backed it off to what's here. And of course we've vacuumed up a lot of bees, but there's still a lot of them hiding behind these layers of comb, because we're talking about a 3.5 to 4 inch wall. It's probably 4 inch because it looks like some full 2 inch, but 4 inches of space, so you probably get 2 or 3 layers of comb there that they're hiding behind. So what you see is just nothing. It's the tip of the iceberg. But they're hiding those.
Did you put the flare back on to make sure we got it all? And it's
No.
not to the right?
No.
You need to be running the vacuum?
We'll suck them out the window in a minute. This has got a bunch of pollen in it.
Oh, wow.
There we go. There's a bunch of bees.
You ever notice if they have like a particular place where they put hers?
Yeah, most of them are out there up top somewhere.
They're gonna keep getting them back, aren't they?
No, I gotta seal it up. I can see daylight from where I'm standing. We're getting into a little bit of honey in these lower combs, not much, but it's enough to make it drip a little. Yeah, that's just the light glistening. But right, you know, so you can see right here, there's some honey in there, but as I'm tearing this out, it's not dripping too bad, thankfully. The further I get in though, I'm gonna have to stuff this with plastic, so I'm not running honey down into the box. I don't want to fill the panel with honey, and there's enough up there to do it.
I need to find some more plastic to keep this from getting
I got it right here. Half a gallon. Another half a gallon. I'm thankful it's cold. Cold, so it's not running too bad. Some beautiful honey right there. See it now? Oh, him and it nice right there in the water bucket. Thank you. Starting to cool down again. The bees are really getting sluggish, so they're not on me so bad, which is fine with me. And the honey's not running, so that's good. The honey's just cold. It's dripping a little bit, but it ain't much at all.
Did you ever see the Queen?
No, not yet. That whole top gap's propolized over to here, and then it's open up to there, and I don't know if they're going next space over or up. I'm gonna go outside and see if there's not a top entrance somewhere. I can see gaps on top of the window where they can get in around the window trim. Also here and up there where they can cross over. I don't think there's gonna be any outside, but I'm gonna go check anyway. Nope. Smoker fuel anyone? I didn't look before we started to see what they're using for an entrance, but there's serious gaps all around that panel. And a hole there. Gaps all the way around the window. Gaps down here. Gaps down here. Right, I can see having to come back on this one. I took 2 in the end of the nose today. As tore up as my face is right now, it just blends. So we're making a supply and a supper run, dinner run, and giving the bees time to come out of the wall. There's a crack up at the very top edge. I can't tell how many's in there. Could only be 50 bees, but it could be 1,000 just as easily. So this is one of those jobs that's 2 hours away from me, and of course I bid it by phone. So bidding it by phone and getting the property owner who's in their mid-80s to take pictures for you, which she did a great job, by the way. She is sharp as a tack, and not taking anything from her for her age, but just not, it wasn't a 13-year-old, you know. But getting those pictures and trying to bid everything by the phone, you miss some stuff sometimes. So I told her I would seal it up and make sure she didn't get anything back in this space. Well, after I look at it, there's plenty of other spaces next to it that they will swarm to if I don't do something about all the gaps around the windows and the panel and the cracks in the siding. So we're having to make a supply run to get a lot of caulk and a lot of silicone and a few extra supplies to make sure that she doesn't have a problem in this area again. I can't seal the whole house for her, but and I didn't intend to seal as much as I'm going to have to, but there's work's got to be done. And while we're there, I'm the perfect one to do it because I can see from the inside where the gaps are, where the cracks are that the bees can get in through. So who better to do the work than the person who's taking the bees out? Thanks for the great video work.
Oh no, wait till you see it.
Huh?
Not
Is
yet.
your finger in the way?
Occasionally.
This is one of those towns that probably would be a really nice place to live, but a lot of the stores are shut down. I don't know if it was like that before or if it's from 19, but nice little town. There's the wards right there. Okay, here's a pretty common scene when you leave a hive, or when you leave a bunch of bees that are hiding, or you suspect they're hiding, about 1,000 bees or so that were hiding up in a gap somewhere. So I let that comb farm cluster on. We've been gone about an hour and 20 minutes. Cooling here. There's enough of them there that generate enough heat that there's a little movement going on. Now these here that have gotten down this window are live. They're just as live as those up there, but there's zero movement. It's 45 degrees outside. These right here will liven back up when it warms up tomorrow. We're about to put this wall back together, insulate all this, seal all the gaps. All these gaps everywhere.
Look out, here she comes, the woman that I love. It's too bad she'll never know. Yeah, I can't tell her how I feel because she has.
Like anytime I take y'all on a supply run, there's always somebody that is just absolutely annoyed by the fact that I didn't have everything I needed to complete this job before I showed up. What's funny is those people never have a channel or any content on the channel. I still got a queen up in there running around. She keeps coming out, poking her head out and running back in. There she is right there. Anyway, this is the caulk that I bought for this job just now. Who's gonna foresee something like that? If you come to every job prepared like that, you would have to have a service van full of just everything. You'd have to be a rolling home improvement store to be prepared for every job every time. I put Be Quick here and Be Quick all over my face and all over my shirt. You can see where it spit back on me. This stuff kind of burns when it gets on your skin. I haven't been successful in getting any Be Quick up in there to run her out, but she comes out, looks, and runs back in. There she is right there.
I see her. Can you just grab her?
If I could get my fingers up in that gap, there she is right there. She come down to the edge of the gap and go on back up. There she is right there. If I had a little pipe cleaner or something soft to hook up in there and pull her out, but 5 hours later. Sounds like they're having an argument up in there. Oh, there she is, there she is. Oh. What? 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 I caught her on there. You got her? Mm-hmm. Look at you.
Oh, it was effortless.
Your first queen catch on the cutout. Nice.
Yeah. Saved by the floral arrangement.
Well, that only took 20 extra minutes. So here's a piece of comb I dropped on the floor, and all the bees that were on the floor have congregated on it. which is pretty nice. Saves a lot of running around vacuuming, but what I'm going to do right now is include their queen with them.
You want to pick that up and put it in the box?
Yeah, I'm gonna get her up off the floor.
There's no box for me.
Gotta get me stomach. All this silicone-based stuff. Gaps. Insulations to fill the void. Alright, that's it. Job's done. We're packed up. Only thing left is for the caulk to dry. Somebody put a coat of paint on that wall. Those lines you see aren't cut lines, that's pencil lines from where I marked it. Everything's caulk, trim, back, panel cover, shade, furniture back where it was. Floor cleaner than it was when I got here. Boom, we out. Is this my invoice? Thank you. 9:55 in the PM. We got about a 2-hour drive home. Be rolling in the house around midnight. I'm feeling fine. How you feel?
Okay.
Not dehydrated or nothing?
I don't know about all that, but
I think I'm all of a sudden dehydrated. Better pull in here for a coat.
that's not behind trash.
Yes, it will. Okay, here's these bees we took last night. I get a lot of questions about what do you do with the hive beetles while you're vacuuming. Well, most of the time you can't avoid but vacuum them up. And that's where they go. They get away from the bees. And now I can just reach in there and crush them or do whatever I want to do with them. But they separate themselves from the bees. They're able to fit through that screen where the bees can't. So you're not dumping them into your hive when you go to dump your bees. You can get rid of the hive beetles quickly and easily before. And let's just not tell my wife that I used her vacuum to suck up a bunch of hive beetles, because she probably wouldn't appreciate it. Got this dead out box here that doesn't have any resources in it, but it's not tore it with wax moth damage. Take it
take it easy.
Stinger in my hand. Holding a grudge. Of course, I'm not really dressed for the occasion. With a black shirt on.